What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Sling'n Proffet podcast. As always, I am your host, Sling, joined by my co-host, Prophet. I'll tell you what, man, we're getting cutting closer and closer every week, trying to fit in all this information that we got to talk about, Prophet.
We need to get our IT guys, get this stuff working right for us.
I'll tell you what, technical difficulties are never a strong suit of mine, and I know they're definitely not a strong suit of yours. So I do apologize for the slightly tardy delay. However, we are here and we are live. And just a quick note: we will not be airing next week due to I'm going on vacation, which is nice, much needed. I am looking forward to it. I will be down in sunny Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hopefully it's sunny. I looked at the weather report. It doesn't look to be too gorgeous down there, but hey, anything's better when you don't have to go to work and you can just kind of kick your feet up and relax for a little bit. What do you think?
Bad day of fishing is still better than a good day at work.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get any fishing, and I'm hoping to, but I get the analogy, Prophet. But it's been a busy week in the sports world. With that being said, with us not doing a show next week, we are going to move up our show or our WrestleMania selections to tonight. So we will be doing those. We'll be touching on some NFL news that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about obviously March Madness, and that's the big, kind of the big thing going on right now. And we'll talk about our pool and who our leaders are and who our leaders may not be. And we'll touch on that tonight. But we got a pretty full show. Prophet, talk to me about your week, man. Anything exciting going on or what?
Nah, it's been pretty quiet down here this week. Just winning money and not on the show last week, but we'll touch on that later. But just doing my normal thing. Taking care of Mrs. Prophet and winning some money. That's about it.
I think losing money has become kind of a numb feeling to me, so I don't really think too much about it anymore. But kind of the same thing with me, just kind of getting through the week. And I got the missus' birthday tomorrow, so we're gonna have to balance out between soccer and birthday dinner. But we got a lot going on. Looking forward to the break coming up. And I said, looking forward to finally getting to be on vacation and just get out of the house and relax for a little bit. So we'll dive into it here. No guests tonight. Coming off a great week last week with Jim joining us. That was an awesome show. Kind of watched that one back, and he had some great stories to tell, and it was really fun kind of talking to him, and we appreciate him giving us the amount of time that he did. So thanks again to Jim Molyneux for being on last week. That being said, we're going to kind of dive into our What's Happening segment here for the week. And I want to start the show off by talking about the tragedy that took place in Baltimore a couple nights ago. Just want to say, attending college down there, being familiar, very familiar with that area, very familiar with the bridge. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who was affected by that terrible tragedy. I woke up. I remember I woke up 2 nights ago, and the baby had to be fed or whatever. So I got up and I'm laying in bed and I'm scrolling. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm scrolling on Twitter and I see that video pop up, and I'm like, this can't be real. Like, this is one of the most incredible things that I've ever seen. And just to think that they were able to get a mayday call out. The ship was able to get a mayday call out to the tower, and the police officers on duty were able to shut down traffic to the bridge to where the point that they said, because if you watch that video, Prophet, there's vehicles on that bridge the whole time, and then they just kind of stop. And we find out that that's because the police officers kind of cut off traffic to the bridge after they got the mayday call. They said that they were able to cut off traffic in the matter of 2 minutes, and the only people who were on the bridge at the time were the construction workers. So our prayers go out to the construction workers and their family. Just a terrible tragedy. Did you see the video?
I saw the video. It it's kind of surreal, to be honest, watching it, just the way, uh, I don't know, man. You see the ship go black, you see it come on, you see it go black and spin, and then the whole bridge is gone.
Yeah,
Just watching it fall into the water, and yeah, it's amazing.
but
Yes, it was brutal. It was brutal to watch, and unfortunately, like you said, they weren't able to get the construction guys off of the bridge. Fortunately, they were able to shut down the traffic to it, and fortunately too, it was only, I mean, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that bridge at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, man, that's bumper to bumper traffic there. That's a big time tragedy.
yeah,
Not that this wasn't, but
yeah.
unfortunately
So
the train wasn't running across at that point. So
what, the train that Joe Biden takes? Because there
yeah,
ain't no
yeah.
train tracks on that bridge. So we'll leave that for another day, another time. But yeah, so we're thinking of you, and like I said, close. I know we both have ties to the Maryland area and stuff like that. So it's just kind of crazy to see something so close to home. And uh, yeah, and we're moving on here to a little bit more happier news. Profit tomorrow. I know we started last
A
week, which
start.
is so weird to me to think that we've already played a regular season Major League Baseball game, and it was over a week ago. That's the weird part to me with this whole, uh, South Korea series and stuff like that. Is that the season started a week ago, but tomorrow's opening day. So I know the Phillies actually already got rained out. They postponed it until Friday. I
Oh,
imagine a really?
really?
couple more teams in the Northeast are going to kind of follow suit with that, because the weather pattern right now is not looking too hot um, in the northern atmosphere, or the northern hemisphere. I know it's pouring out there right now. It's not supposed to get much better tomorrow. What do you think about opening day, man? Are you excited?
I,
I mean, you got to be a little excited with being back in fantasy baseball now.
I'm actually looking forward to it for the first time in probably 20 years. I mean, it's you know, and it's all because of fantasy. I mean, I play baseball, but I don't actually watch the games like I do following and all. But I'm gonna have a different type of interest in it this year, and I'm hoping that being more interested with the fantasy is actually going to help me on the betting end of it too.
I don't
Yeah.
see why it wouldn't. I mean, I feel like the two go hand in hand. You're gonna be up to date with people's stats and knowing what they're doing and stuff like that. So I don't see why it wouldn't help you in that regard. All right, let's put it out here right now, March 27th, 2024. Let's get Profits World Series winner prediction.
Oh, I didn't even look at that at all,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, and
Jeez.
I'm going
Um,
off the top of your head. I didn't look at it either.
I'm
I don't even
gonna
know who's good, honestly. I'm just gonna say
uh,
the Phillies because I
I'm
want the
gonna
Phillies
go.
to
I'm
win.
gonna go with Tampa Bay over. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Tampa
Let's
Bay.
say
We'll revisit, but this is our way too early Major League World Series prediction winner. So I'm going with the Phillies. Profits got Tampa Bay. We'll revisit later in the
yeah.
year
Let's touch
and
on
see
that
how
in
we
two
both do.
weeks at least.
Profit, something that's a little bit more interesting than the actual baseball games themselves, some might say, is the art of tailgating for these opening day games and any game really. I mean, you go to a ball game or you go, whether it's football or wrestling, or not wrestling, football or baseball or hockey, or I guess wrestling. People tailgate
They,
wrestling events and
they
stuff like that.
tailgated at wrestling at my wrestling matches.
I'll tell you what, but there's just something fun about going to a tailgate, being involved and kind of being around people and hearing the music and having some drinks and having good food. And it makes me wonder, like, the aura of opening day, man, that the sounds, the sights, the smells that you kind of take in and you kind of hold on to, and they're like core memories. And I just want to have a little fun with this and kind of go through our top three favorite, and I'm not going to say tailgate foods because that's a whole different category. Profit, we're not talking tailgate
Absolutely.
food. I'm saying top three favorite nostalgic stadium foods. Okay, so you're with me on this, right? You were talking
I'm with you.
stadiums,
I
all
got you.
time all time stadium snack. It could be the Cracker Jacks, or it could be the soft pretzels, or whatever it might be. Take me out to the ball game. You're going to the seventh inning. What are you going to the concession stand to start with, or to grab? Is it going to be something cold, refreshing, or is it going to be something hot and and filling? So let's see. My number three pick. We're going in, and this is kind of well, I don't want to say kind of. It is very localized to Philadelphia region. My number three favorite stadium snack is the Chicky and Pete's crab fries with the melted American cheese on the side. And for those of you who don't know, no, they're not crabs. They're not French fries with crabs on them. Although some people do serve them like that. They're these crinkle cut French fries with um,
Old Bay.
Old Bay seasoning and stuff like that, crab seasoning, and they come with a side of melted American cheese dipping sauce, and they're salty and they're delicious and they're crunchy on the outside and gooey on the inside. And they're just a really good snack. And anytime I go to a game, and I don't go to many games anymore, but anytime I do, I make it a point to kind of get these crab fries. Now, a crab fry will run you about $14 anymore, and we're not going to talk about pricing right now. But I'm just saying, anytime I'm going to a Phillies game, or if I'm at the Eagles Stadium or something like that, I'm definitely getting myself an order of those crab fries. Let's talk about your number three pick. And I know you're more of a traditionalist, and you kind of stayed traditional with it tonight. So talk to me about your number three stadium snack.
Well, let me preface my picks, okay? Why you say I'm more of a traditionalist, okay? Is I'm going to say probably after 1987 or so, I never went to the ball games unless I was in a box. So we didn't get the same kind of stadium food per se.
Sure.
And but all
Big
my
boy
picks.
profit, profit doesn't do the peasant seats anymore. You can't be
Well, that's
sitting out
right.
there. He can't be sitting out there with the general folk.
Amongst the peasants, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Nah, but and not walking up to the concession stand, man, but getting it hand delivered by the guys that walk around carrying them sodas. I mean, they get watered down, but they were a fountain soda. Nothing like it at the vet stadium.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what, they do. They're on record saying that they put a little extra shot, or they turn the syrup up a little bit on those fountain sodas that make them a little bit better than a soda out of a bottle or a soda out of a can. There's something different about a fountain soda, and I'm with you on that, Prophet. And I love a fountain soda, and I get them quite often. It's a good pick. It's a good pick. Not a route that I was thinking of going, but definitely a solid pick there.
well,
Let's
as
go to
are the
number.
crab fries. Yeah, I mean, I loved Chicky and Pete's crab fries. And when I did work for Chicky or Pete, actually, that was one of the things that I always had to eat when I walked into their bar was the crab fries.
Sure.
But
And they know what you're doing because they make them salty. So that way you got to keep going back and get something to
yeah,
drink. Speaking of salty, uh, Prophet, let's start with you. Number two here. You got your old classic stadium peanuts. Talk to me.
peanuts here. Guy walking around, man. Some of them guys were so good. They walk down the aisle and somebody 12 seats in, get peanuts and pass the money down, and the guy flicked a bag of peanuts, and then you just sit there and make shells all over the floor. It was great, and they were good peanuts too, man, because a lot of them were hard and like kind of just some of them were the disgusting tasting ones, which I absolutely love. But man, nothing better than a bag of peanuts at the.
I
Oh,
don't
there
know.
is one thing better, but
Well, there's one thing in your mind, but there's a lot of things better in my mind, Prophet. And I'm gonna pass on the peanut snack here. I understand the nostalgia of it. It's so much work for so little effort, or for so little reward. You got these peanuts, they're dry, they're hard to open. Like you said, sometimes you get the disgusting ones that taste like they came out of a horse's ass. They just don't
they
do it for me. Now, something I would
were
be
the best
curious to
one.
try. So something I would be curious to try is the boiled peanuts, where you can just throw the whole thing in your mouth and chew them. Now, I never had those, but
Yeah, I
now
don't care for them.
these peanuts. Listen, if you're going to charge me $7 for a bag of peanuts, and I'm going to have to do all the work myself, I could find a better snack. But hey, I respect your decision. I know it's a timeless tradition for peanuts and baseball. I'm going. My number two stadium snack is just your classic hot dog. All right, they used to do dollar dog days at at the Phillies games. They actually got rid of them this year. There's no more dollar dog nights. It turned into a drunk fest with the younger kids. So I am disappointed to see dollar dog nights kind of disappear. But man, I'll tell you what, you get a hot dog at the stadium, the roll's kind of stale. You know, it's not the best. The dog's not bad, but you slather it up with a little spicy mustard, some raw onions, maybe a little sauerkraut if you got a couple beers in you, and you eat one or two of those, and you're burping it up the rest of the night, and it's just as good the eighth and ninth time coming up as it is going down. So my number two, my number two pick there is a nice stadium hot dog for an all-time favorite stadium snack. Prophet, you're 2 for 2 for traditionalists here, so we're going on to our number one picks, and I'll go first this time because again, I'm staying more localized, and I don't know if you um, have been to the stadium in recent times to where
Never
you
seen
see
that.
this. You never seen this ice cream in a helmet.
Nope.
Now I don't know if they do it at every stadium, and maybe some of the guys can chime in here. I don't know if they do it everywhere, but you get this nice mini souvenir helmet, and you get the soft serve chocolate ice cream in it with the sprinkles or the jimmies or whatever you want to call them, and you just go to town. And there's nothing worse in the summer than sitting and baking at a baseball game in a stadium in the dead of heat until you get this ice cream in a helmet, and you better eat it fast because it's going to melt. But for all of $12 or whatever the hell that costs, that is my number one stadium snack. I don't, like I said, I don't know if other places do it. I would have to imagine they do. It's just a mini baseball helmet with ice cream in it. But talk to me about your number one, Prophet.
Man, there's nothing better than a ballpark hot dog. And you gotta give kudos to these guys. I don't know if they still do it nowadays, because I mean, when I was at the game in Texas last year, we had to kind of like call to get stuff delivered, but we were in the box or the seat, the stadium with
Mm-hmm.
the seats and all. Um, them guys used to walk around, man. They'd have that full thing of sodas, or they'd have the hot dog container. Now I heard that they don't change that hot dog water for like 3 days, so and that's what makes them great. Yeah,
Maybe.
hey hot dog, hey, and the guy pulls out a dog, so you slap a little mustard. I see Larry said mustard only. That's the way I eat them too, and you could eat 6, 7, 8 dogs, man. That's the way to do it.
Oh, you can. I mean, I would definitely take down 6 dogs, but only on dollar dog night though. Prophet, you can't go and pay full price for them because it'll charge you an arm and a leg.
Well, I mean, when I'm going back to
Prophet asked Mrs. Prophet to marry her. You seventh inning stretch, huh, Prophet?
yeah, yeah,
You're a
I'm
classy.
yeah,
You're a classy guy. Hey, Jeff
I
Ramage checking in. What's up, Jeff? Welcome back to the show, pal. Crazy crab sandwich with garlic fries. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Jeff? What ballpark is that in? Because it sounds delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you because I am a huge crab lover. And the garlic, I'm a big fan of like garlic truffle fries. So curious to see where that one's checking in from. But Jeff, appreciate you checking in on the show and welcome back, buddy.
how you
Good to
doing,
see you.
Jeff?
Anyway, Prophet,
And
we're kind of gonna move on to
oh,
some.
before you do, I mean, like Jeff just threw that out there. I mean, it's crazy some of the stuff you can get full course meals at the
Oh my
ballpark
gosh, are you
anymore.
kidding me? I saw today when I was doing a little research. Um, One of the ballparks is offering up a $16 um, fire roasted s'more milkshake. That's about this big. It's got fire roasted marshmallows on top. It's got the chocolate drizzle down the side. It's got graham crackers in it. Like, what are we like? What the heck is going on? You see, and you want to talk about, you want to go down this rabbit hole a little bit. You talk about the Arizona Cardinals are putting in like haciendas or casitas or whatever they're called. Like they're the stadiums are going absolutely bonkers with what they're doing from a marketing and tailgating point. These games are turning into mostly social events. Like you see what they're doing with the stadium in Vegas, the Jaguar Stadium. You got a freaking pool in the outfield,
Right.
or in the upper deck. Jeff says Giants AT&T Stadium.
AT&T.
Crab
Yeah, I
sandwich and
know.
dog fries.
Out there, you can get sushi. I know out at Shea Ravine, and
Oh man,
it's like, I mean, it's crazy.
yeah, it's great. It's I mean, but hey, listen, if people are gonna make a night out of it, I guess they're gonna. Some of them, some of them are gonna make it a real night out of it. Because I'll tell you what, if I'm taking my kids, it's expensive enough just to go with the tickets and a couple hot dogs, and God knows they're gonna want the ice cream. But that's running enough money for me.
And before we move on, okay, my all-time favorite thing was leaving the stadium, because when you leave the stadium in Philadelphia, you've got guys on the corner, every corner, selling Philly soft pretzels, taking a
Oh,
bag of pretzels home with you, man, after the game. That was the
oh
ultimate.
yeah, you always had soft pretzels, and it's funny that you say your favorite part of the game was leaving, because by the time we would always leave, Profit, the soft pretzel guy wasn't out there yet, because it was only the fifth inning, because we never stayed for a full game when you used to take me to the games. You're notorious for leaving in the friggin' sixth inning. I said, Dad, can't we stay and watch the end? No, we got to beat traffic. Damn
Beat
it!
traffic.
We would
Well,
go to the game. I'll
well, the
never forget. This
game.
is a no, no, no. This is a God honest story, and I'm going to tell it, and I'm going to tell it on air, and I'll never forget this story. We went to, it was a Sunday morning, and I woke up, and I don't know, it was like 9 o'clock. Yeah, it was early, and I wanted to go outside and play with my friends that early in the morning. Yes, and you said, okay, but you got to be home by 11, or whatever. I got home at 11, and you said, um, you could either go play with your friends or go watch football with me and whoever's coming over, Grandpop and whoever used to come over, or we could go over to the Eagles game. And I said, I want to go to the Eagles game. So we went to the Eagles game, and you said, okay, but the only catch is we're leaving at halftime. I was like, what the hell is this? What kind of bullshit is this? I said, I want to go to the Eagles game. I want to watch the game. So we went to the Eagles game. By the time we got there, it was kickoff, because of course, we didn't tailgate, because that wasn't what you were doing with me. And we get there and we watch the first half of the Eagles game, and we're back by friggin' the start of the third quarter and sitting on our couch. I think the guys were still there. They might have still came
Uh,
over and watched football at our house while we were there.
yeah,
But
I think that game was against the Cardinals or some stew bum team, so I knew that the game was going to be in hand at halftime, so we weren't going to really miss anything. And there was a good 4 o'clock game coming on.
yeah, we
But
never stayed for anything. But
no, never.
we
I mean, past the seventh inning, that was unheard of. But I mean, again, the game's in hand. It's 1-0 going into the seventh.
yeah,
You
of
know who's
course,
going to win, man. Come
pitchers do
on.
right. Well, we're moving on to some football talk, and speaking about wieners, Caleb Williams. I don't know if you saw this video or not, Prophet, but he was filmed at one of the basketball games at USC, and I just want to touch on this for a minute. He's doing some flamboyant stuff. You see the picture here. He's wearing, it looks like he's got pink lip gloss on, and his nails are painted pink, and he's got a pink phone and a pink handbag. Whatever. To each their own, right? Whatever, dude. You do what you want to do, man. My question to you, Prophet, is this guy is about to be the number one overall pick in the NFL, and he has been a bigger distraction than any player or person I've ever known coming in before the draft. And I say that lightly because I'm not really thinking that comment through, and I'm sure there's more, but this guy has red flags written all over him. And it just seems like a shoe in that the Bears are going to take this guy. Prophet, this guy, he's a distraction, and he hasn't even been, he has not even in the league yet. what do you think about this whole situation? And what do you think about Caleb Williams? Do you think that he's even good enough to be? Because listen, I'm a coach, right? And I tell my kids, and this is the honest truth. Hey, there's a certain amount of BS that I'll put up with, depending on talent level. Okay, it's like a sliding scale. Really good, I'll put up with a little bit more BS. Really bad, and I'm putting up with no BS. Okay, where does this guy fall on that scale? Because for me, the juice is not worth the squeeze here.
He falls to me anyhow. He falls right in the center, a little above the center, I guess. And things aren't always as they may seem. Okay, Larry may Larry may get his wish. And this kid could end up going to the clown show in Washington where he belongs. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold anymore that the Bears are taking him. Yeah, they're very hush hush. They haven't come out and said, he's our man. Like, yeah, they were out at his pro day, but so were a lot of other teams. And I said
Larry
it
just said
in
the Bears were at JJ McCarthy's pro day, and Larry, not for nothing, I don't know if that's any better. I don't. I think there's a lot of, and we talk about it. We talk about it a lot. There's a lot of uh, over. What I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. The
yeah,
quarterbacks. They're not as good as
over
the type.
evaluating
Yeah,
them,
they're over evaluating. They're over like these quarterbacks. They're
over evaluating
projecting
them.
5 or 6 quarterbacks to go in the top 15 or top 20.
It could be five in the top five, depending
It's
upon how to
I don't
trade.
see
If
it.
there's trades,
I don't
but
necessarily see it.
well, you know what? I think McCarthy's better than Williams from the bullshit standpoint. You're
No,
not
I
going to
agree.
have
Yeah,
you're
I
not
mean, I
going to
agree,
have all
but
the
I don't.
headaches.
Yeah,
Um,
you're not going to have a certain type of headaches, but he's still a hockey sob. McCarthy
yeah,
is.
he is. I mean, I'm telling you what, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if on draft night one, you don't hear Daniel's name called first. It wouldn't shock me at all.
No, I think there's a lot of uncertainty kind of going into the draft for sure. But I just wanted to touch on this, and like we've talked about him before, but this has been. I mean, like he just he just wants to be this. I don't know. He just I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't get
you know
behind it.
what? And not even after you get there and do something do you become like that. But you sure as hell don't do this crap before you even got there and did anything.
Hey,
Like
like I said,
right.
whatever, dude.
eh,
You like we're not in the a business of judging what he does or how he dresses or what he prefer. Like, dude, that's one thing. You becoming a distraction to your team, like this is a business, man.
Right.
You go out and you embarrass your company as an employee, and you get fired. It doesn't happen all the time in the NFL. Like, but like I said, there's that scale. How much are you willing to put up with versus how good are you? And
See, and
then
that's the whole thing. Like you're saying, you have that scale and all, okay, but you're basing that scale on what you've seen, what the kids on the field, what they've done already for you. I mean, this guy's done nothing yet. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even
yeah,
after you get good, if you do, don't be like this.
there's
But
potential there.
yeah, well,
Let's
potential has ruined many teams over the
sure.
last 20 years picking quarterbacks.
Let's move on from this. I don't want to sit here and beat a dead horse. What do you got? Your eyes acting up again? You've been fine for
Yeah,
3 months, and now 2 weeks in a row, you're crying on us.
yeah, somebody's burning outside. It's coming in my door.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's talk a little wrestling here. And I know I want to get into the picks, and I kind of made this slide before I knew that we weren't doing a show next week because I thought we were going to do one a little bit later, but it's just not feasible to do one on Friday night. So we're going to do our WrestleMania show tonight, knowing that WrestleMania is next week. But I just want to touch on um, first of all, the fact that I've been so invested in wrestling more now than I've ever been, probably in the last 10 or 15 years of my life. I just think it's must-watch television, and I don't. Do you attribute it to the Bloodline storyline? Do you attribute it to The Rock? I'm going to say a lot of mine is with The Rock being back. I saw a crazy stat the other night that said that The Rock has been on television more times in 2024 than Roman Reigns, which is
Yeah.
which is crazy to me because Roman Reigns is the damn champion, and Rock has been on WWE television more than he has. But like, I'm tuning in every Monday and every Friday night to see what they're going to do, because they're putting on a great product, and the ending to Monday Night Raw. And I'm sad that I missed it because I went to bed early because I figured The Rock came out to start the show, and I
He
didn't
wasn't
know
going
if
to
he
be
was going to come
back.
back
Yeah.
out, So, but that was must watch television. What do you think? How do you feel about the product recently leading into WrestleMania?
Well, I have mixed emotions about it because I honestly think Monday night was one of the better Raws in a long time. But the reason for that was because of the Cody Rock promo, because of the Punk Rollins McIntyre promo, and because of the Rock Cody ass beating at the end of the show, not because of the wrestling during the show, and that's kind
Yeah,
of where
but
this is
I
going
mean,
to.
but it's entertainment, Profit.
It is.
Like, dude,
It
okay,
is.
the wrestling as the wrestling, quote unquote, the wrestling aspect of it is the payoff at the end. This is the build. This is all the build, and
Oh, I get it.
the build is making me want to see the payoff. And I think they're doing their job. Like, I'm not tuning in every Monday night to watch friggin' Chad Gable wrestle around against Andrade. Okay, cool. It's for a few minutes, it's fine, but dude, that's not investing to me. I'm invested in these stories right now, and I think I think that's like I said, that's what's going to sell these tickets is the story, and I think that, personally
There.
speaking, the WWE's been knocking it out of the park. Like I said, I don't mind tuning in and seeing the promos because it's entertaining. I think that
See, I
CM Punk promo with McIntyre was absolute not. It was gold. There was I could tell that they had no script. They were just going. They were winging it. They were saying whatever the hell they wanted to say, but it was entertaining to me, and I'm
it,
for it. So.
it was entertaining, okay, but when you sit down and turn the TV on at 9 o'clock and your first wrestling match doesn't start until quarter to 10, it's like 45 minutes goes by and there's not a lick of wrestling. That's the only part that is bothersome to me.
Mhm.
And this at the end, that was phenomenal. Except for the Rock constantly, what do you think now? That was I didn't get that at all, but no, that at the end was great. That's
Yeah.
probably the first time since they've gone PG that there's been real, I mean, blood other than real blood in a match. Yeah, and this wasn't even a match.
Well, I think there's a time and a place for blood in the right setting, and I think that this was the right setting for it. So, what are you doing?
But now I was trying to see if I had a napkin around or something. Again, I'm good.
All right, we're moving on. We're going to go into our WrestleMania predictions here in no particular order. You don't need to see the screen, Prophet. I'll talk you through it because you can't seem to get your eyes right. Uh, in no particular order, we're going to talk about these matches, and we talked about it a little bit last week with Molyneux. Make sure you're keeping tabs. That way we can revisit after our WrestleMania recap show. But make sure you're keeping tabs on who comes out on top here with their predictions.
I
First
will.
match that we're going to talk about, we got the United States Championship. We got Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Who do you got coming out on top of this one?
I think the man in the middle needs the belt, and Owens and Orton are going to become, a feud after this match. I got Paul winning.
I agree. I just got a weird text message. Sorry. I agree with you. Yeah, I don't see them giving Logan Paul the belt to take it off of him right away. I agree with you there. He's entertaining. We talked about it last week how he picked it up quicker than kind of anyone really has. So I got him going over in this one. Larry wants in on this. He's got Logan as well. So we're going all three for Logan Paul.
All right, Larry, I'm logging you, so we'll talk. In 2 weeks we'll go over this. Larry's got Paul also. Okay.
We're moving on to our next match here. Let's talk about all right, Larry's in. Let's talk about the tag team match that we talked about last week, Damian Priest and Finn Balor to Judgment Day. There's still two teams that we haven't heard from, or that we don't know who's going to be in, but we do know it's going to be Judgment Day versus New Day versus Miz and R-Truth versus DIY. Two more teams in a ladder match. Should be a good one. It's tough to predict this one since we don't know who exactly the teams are.
Exactly.
Sorry. Like I said, I'm getting these text messages, which is weird. Why don't you lead us off on this one and kind of talk about what you think and who you think's got this one?
Well, I think if we're going to go with the predictions, we'll all be wrong if one of the other teams gets in. Okay, let's just pick off of the four because I'm hearing that there's a slight possibility that the Hardys are coming back for this, and if it is as it is right now, I'm going with Awesome Truth.
Oh, you're going with Awesome Truth. Huh. That kind of took me by surprise. Now, all right, I'm fine with picking out of the four that are in there. I don't, for some reason, man, I don't see the Judgment Day holding on to this, to these tag team belts. There's a lot of turmoil if you've been watching. There's a lot of turmoil between the groups. So I'm going to go New Day out of these guys. Depending on any mystery teams that show up, I'm going New Day here. Larry, who you got?
And like I said, if one of the other two teams wins, then it's a no play for us. That's all.
Larry says Judgment Day as well. So we're moving on. We're gotta go through these because we got a lot. This is a good one. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Two guys that I think are being underutilized right now. AJ Styles, one of the best in the business, always has been. LA Knight, one of the hottest in the business. If nothing else, it's going to be a good wrestling match. I think it's going to be entertaining. These guys can work. I don't know. Has there been a whole lot of what's the backstory here? I don't there's nothing really tying these two.
AJ.
No,
AJ,
not the backstory, but there's nothing on the line here.
No.
Just a good old fashioned grudge match then.
Yeah.
I got LA Knight going over because I think they're going to give it to the hot hand right now.
Okay, and I'm going to go with you on that because I think AJ can afford to lose this match, but if they have LA Knight lose this match, then it's going to put a big hurt on them.
Larry's got Knight too, so we're 3 for 3 here on I don't know. Have we had other than the tag team match? We have had the same picks, so we got to start changing it up a little bit here, Prophet.
Well, maybe you learned something from me.
Maybe. Brother versus brother match, the one that's been building, a Philadelphia street fight. Could happen, could go anywhere, could end up over in Broad Street, could go into Gino's Steaks, could go to Pat's Steaks. It could be a battle of the cheesesteaks between the brothers. Who do you got in this one? I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know who's who. I don't know which one's in the bloodline. I don't know which one's the good guy.
Jimmy's in the bloodline. Jay's on Monday Night Raw. I'm going with Jay.
You said Jimmy's the one in the bloodline?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with Jimmy because I think the bloodline's going to be involved somehow, and it's going to set up things for later in the show. So I'm going Jimmy Uso.
Jay all the way.
Larry's got Jay all the way.
Okay.
Moving on to our next match. This one, listen, I'm a little disappointed with. Okay, I love Gunther. I think he's been great. I think he's an awesome Intercontinental Champion. They could have found a better opponent. I've never been a Sami Zayn fan, and I just feel like that they could have done so much more with this match, with this title. I'm a little bit let down by Gunther versus Sami Zayn. What do you feel about the match in general?
Well, I agree with you, but in fairness to this match, Sami Zayn's in Brock Lesnar's spot. Okay, that's who the match was supposed to be until all the crap hit the fan, with the WWE execs, and Lesnar was supposed to be wrestling for the title here. So
Yeah, I mean,
Sami
but
Zayn.
I don't know if Lesnar's wrestling for the title. Lesnar might be walking out with the title, So maybe we lucked out there. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, as hard as they're making Sammy look bad, it's almost saying that Sammy's going to win the match. But I just can't see. I can't see Sammy, stopping his streak. It's got to be somebody bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm with you. I
I'm
don't
going with the
see.
ring general.
I'm going with the ring general as well. We're 3 for 3 there. I don't see Sami Zayn being the guy to end this streak here. So we're moving on to the next one. We got Io Sky versus Bailey. Maybe she'll come back and come out with the inflatables and stuff like that if she's coming back as babyface Bailey. What do you think?
Yeah, well, that would be nice. I mean, I always liked Bailey.
I did
Uh,
too. I think heel Bailey was kind of cool for a little bit.
Yeah,
But
I mean, the fact that she was feuding with Michael Cole, made her heel move pretty good, but just verbally feuding, obviously.
sure.
Yeah,
I got Bailey in this one. I think they'll let her. I think with her baby face turn, I think they'll let her take the belt and kind of run with it. Yeah, I got Bailey in this one.
yeah. I mean, I feel bad for her though, because here we go again, and it's not going to be a long story, a long argument, but The Rock screwed everything up at WrestleMania this year. Okay. You win the Royal Rumble, you are supposed to main event WrestleMania. What Bailey's probably going to be this match is probably going to be the first or second match on Saturday night. It's like she wins the Royal Rumble, and The Rock comes in, and now he takes over main event Saturday night, main event Sunday
When
night.
was it ever? When was it ever a rule that the winner of the women's rumble was the main event too?
Well,
Because there was
every
never until 3 years ago. There was never 2 nights of WrestleMania.
right, and the last 2 years, the women have main evented the one night.
Yeah, no, I think
But
that's because those were the main event worthy matches. I think.
well, no, that's not
But
true either, because Sammy and the tag team match last year was Saturday night's main event.
Saturday night main event.
Uh, yeah,
Anyway, who you
yeah.
got? You said
I
you got
got
Bailey.
Bailey. Yeah, I got Bailey.
Yeah. All
Everybody's
right.
got Bailey.
Everybody's got Bailey. On to the next women's match: Rhea versus Becky. Becky, I don't know, man. Ever since she had her kid, I think she lost weight. She lost her. She lost her appeal. Not her appeal, but she lost her strength. She lost her mass, her body mass. I don't know. She just kind of looks like skeletally to me.
Yeah.
If that
No,
makes
you're
sense.
right.
I mean,
She's frail. She's
yeah,
frail looking.
she looks frail, and I don't necessarily care for it. Um, there's nobody hotter than Rhea right now. Just she's on a roll. they're not going to. I just don't see her dropping the belt anytime soon. So I got Rhea in this one.
Yeah, I'm following suit.
Larry, he'll catch
Okay.
up.
Yeah, I'll catch up.
He'll catch up. We're moving on to the. You got Rhea too, so we're moving on to the tag match. Night one, one of the only matches that has actually been confirmed for night one or night two. This is the night one main event. You got your tag match: The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth Rollins. We had a big question mark as to whether Seth was going to be cleared or not to participate. Apparently, he is. This is a blockbuster match, worthy of a WrestleMania main event, in my opinion. I'll go first. I think I said it last week. I think with the stipulations for this match, with if the Bloodline wins, the next match or the next night is Bloodline rules versus Roman Reigns. I think they're setting up for the next night. So I got the Rock and Roman winning this match, making Saturday night or Sunday night a Bloodline rules match. And I think Seth Rollins, I don't buy into this whole babyface Seth Rollins. Something's going to happen here, and I got, like I said, I got Rock and Roman to set up this match for Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a predictable WrestleMania this year.
Yeah, now that we're going through it, huh? Or we think it's predictable anyway. Until we get to the last slide, when I say, "Is there anything unpredictable that's going to happen?" You got Rock and Roman.
Yeah, I got Rock and Roman also.
So does Larry. Well, you guys really know how to make for good television. I'll tell you what. Let's talk about this one. Let's talk about the Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre match. I like Drew McIntyre. I think he's been doing great work on the mic. I think he's been, the way he transformed his body, it's been awesome. I was happy when he got the belt during COVID, but I was also upset because he got the belt during COVID. I want to see him get the belt in front of a house. I want to see him get the belt at the main event of WrestleMania, or the second to main event. Or you can have two main events. I want to see him get the belt at WrestleMania in front of a crowd. Something's telling me that McIntyre is walking out of this one the winner. I'm taking McIntyre in this one.
Oh, what are you kidding me? You're going with McIntyre against Seth Rollins, and yeah, so am I. I mean, Seth needs time off. He needs a vacation. I know he hasn't been wrestling he wasn't wrestling for a few weeks after his injury and all, but he needs some time away from the business to heal. And they got to take the belt from him and get him out of here for a little while. Let him and Becky go and make another kid or something.
No, I like Becky. Larry's got Seth retaining, so we do disagree there. There's one way we can get a point back. And our last match that we have on the books, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Go ahead, you start us off on this one.
Okay, well, I mean, it's time. It's time for Roman to follow in the Rock's footsteps, head out to Los Angeles, out to Hollywood. Cody is going to win the belt. He's going to win the belt with the help of The Rock. Maybe not intentionally, but they're going to set up SummerSlam on Sunday night, and the SummerSlam is going to be Rock and Roman. I'm going with Cody with a little help.
I don't disagree with you that they're setting up SummerSlam. I do disagree with you that Roman's ready to leave and go to Hollywood already. I don't think he's there yet at that point. Larry's got Cody as well. I don't, guys. I think Roman hangs on. I think Roman retains somehow, some way. This isn't like everybody's saying, "Oh, Cody needs to finish his story." Cody's story is nowhere near finished. He's like 38 years old, if that. He's around. He's going to be here. He ain't finishing anything. this is just going to be another chapter in the long, long novel of the bloodline and Cody Rhodes and all this this feuding and stuff like that. I got Roman, and I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think they're going to I think they're going to let Roman get close to the record. I don't know if he won't be able to beat it, but he can get to be number 2, right? We were looking the other day, like Bob Backlund's number 2. It's crazy. You never even think that.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. I just think it's time. It's time for Roman to move on, give up the belt. Um, wrestling's changed so much over the years. It used to be you were the champion, you had to defend your title every 30 days. Now it's like he's defending his every 3 months. Certain people, they get hurt and they don't lose their title, but they keep it for 3 months, and I people would try and put the GOAT stamp on this guy, and I just don't say it. 80% of his matches are won with help, and it's like how do you put the best stamp on somebody that can't win a match cleanly? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
I,
either, but like I said, I don't see Roman leaving anytime soon. So, but I know the whole fighting champion thing, but somebody brought up a good point. I mentioned it to my buddies a couple weeks ago. Like, does the title get stale if you're defending it to anybody who wants a shot at it? You know, like, does it lose its glamour? Like, no, dude, you're not getting a shot at this title. Like, you're not worthy of this title. And that's what Cody Rhodes is saying. He's gonna be a fighting champion, but you don't have to defend the title twice a month or once a month. You defend the title when it's worthy and when it's a big fight feel. Like, we talked about last week, big fight feel. But
see, Cody's gonna win the belt, and then he's going to turn heel. So he's going to give all the faces a chance, to get a shot at a title that they haven't had, with Roman there, because he's probably only wrestled 12 different guys in his whole 3.5 year streak. So Cody's turning heel with the belt.
well, that's a bold prediction, and that kind of
Yep.
leads us into our next slide here. Prophet, you got any big surprise predictions going down the next weekend or what?
Yeah, well, the one I just gave you, the Rock and Roman. The Rock's going to cost Roman the belt. Um, before I thought Dakota Kai was going to be going out with Bailey, and I thought she was going to turn on her at WrestleMania, but I don't know why they made her turn this early, but um, yeah, and that's about it. I mean, there is talk that they're trying to, the big guys are trying to get a battle royal together for WrestleMania. Like, you're going to have to be over so much weight,
Yeah,
to
but that's what they did a
participate.
couple of years ago with the Andre the Giant trophy, right?
Well, they still have that. They still have that going. Unfortunately, it's on SmackDown on Friday night now. It's
Oh,
not
really?
even, yeah, it's not even a
Oh,
part of WrestleMania. But
well, then they're not. If they're not going to do the Andre the Giant battle royal, they're not going to do a different battle royal.
um, like I said, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, what my sources are
Anyway,
telling me. Okay.
my prediction is I think either WrestleMania night or Monday Night Raw, MJF is showing up. MJF is coming to WWE, and I would like to see it happen at Mania, obviously, because I would be there. But yeah, I got a feeling, man. I just got a feeling that he's going and he's making his uh he's going to make his debut for WWE, or his television debut as MJF. So that's my bold prediction. We'll see if it works out. I don't know, man. That's a pretty out there reach. So, but yeah, there's
Well,
our WrestleMania predictions. Larry, thanks for joining in and
and
joining our contest.
Larry thinks Priest is going to cash in on Sunday night,
Uh,
obviously which
he said Seth wins and Priest cashes in and wins.
and I mean, that would be an ideal situation for him if he's going to do it basically in front of his home crowd.
True.
He's from New York, but
Yeah.
most of his indie wrestling was in New Jersey, so down in the Philadelphia area. So that would be great. I hope it does happen. But
Yeah, I think hey, they might. I just don't. You know, does he have that star power yet to have the belt? And I guess it's not the big belt, but it is the big belt. Like I guess you can make that argument that that Roman's belt is more important than Seth's, but who knows? We'll see. Let's kind of move on from this. We're going to see how it plays out. Nonetheless, it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks. It's going to be an exciting weekend of WrestleMania, and I will be sure to bring pictures and stuff when we come back from our little 2 week or 1 week break here. Prophet, you'll be happy to hear that we do have a little bit of a
yes,
weekly roundup segment
yes,
back tonight, so we get to hear the song, which has been a while. So let's dive into our weekly roundup here.
Good stuff.
Song never gets old. I'm getting infested with ants down here. Like I'm in my freaking basement right now, and I can't get away from
rain.
The ants. It's the rain. It's the warmth. I told my wife. I said we're gonna bomb the house when we leave for vacation. She says, "Well, we'll call the exterminator." I said, "No, we're gonna drop a bomb on the freaking house." She didn't understand what I meant. But yeah. Anyway, we're moving on here. We're doing a weekly roundup. Prophet. Let's talk a little basketball. Let's talk a little March Madness. March Madness is in full swing. We're going to kind of go through the I don't want to go through the whole bracket here, but I did bring up the bracket just for my own personal reference point. There was a couple big upsets early on. We're heading into the Sweet 16. And I know you can't see that, but I can see it a little bit bigger on my screen. We're heading into the Sweet 16. I think no bigger upset than who? Kentucky
going down, yeah.
Kentucky losing to NC State. Kentucky losing to Oakland. Right? Yeah. The 14 seed beating a 3 seed. Prophet, I think people in Kentucky are tired of it. They're tired of dealing with the coach not producing. They're tired of getting trounced in these first, second, third rounds. What's going on down there? They're not the Kentucky they used to be, huh?
I saw something on the computer today. I don't know, call it a meme, whatever the hell it is, but saying that Kentucky year in and year out gets all, McDonald's All-American players, and come tournament time, they get beat by guys that eat at McDonald's on a nightly basis. Yeah, something along that line.
It really is. We had another big upset with JMU beating Wisconsin in the first round.
Yeah, I had that one.
What's that?
I had that one. And
we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Prophet, stop jumping the gun here.
Okay, sorry. I'm
JMU
excited.
I know you're excited. Reel it in a little bit, pal. All right. We had a slight upset with Oregon over South Carolina, 11 versus 6. I don't really consider that much of an upset. And then let's see what the other big one was. Oh, Grand Canyon over St. Mary's. Grand Canyon is more than just an online school, I learned, which I didn't know. And then you have Yale, number 13 Yale, beating Auburn. Auburn's they got to be kicking themselves with the athletic years that they've been having now in basketball and now in football season. And they need to pick things up at Auburn, huh?
Well, I mean, it's getting to be a situation where these really aren't upsets anymore, Sling. You've got the number 4 and 5 seeds in the bigger conferences going against teams that won their conference. Chances are they're a pretty decent team. Mm-hmm. And just because you're a 5 seed in the SEC, you get a 9 higher ranking. Like, the upsets aren't really upsets anymore.
Well, that's why you got to do your homework when you do these brackets, and you can't just sit here and take the higher seed because, like you said, they might be the higher seed, but they're not necessarily the best team.
Right.
You know, and I think, excuse me. Let's be honest though, you play Oakland versus Kentucky 10 times. How many times does Oakland win in that game?
They won the one that matters. They might lose the other 9, but they won the one that matters.
Sure. We're moving on to our Sling'n Proffet leaderboard, and it's kind of tough to see here. Proffet, we had a great showing, man. We had 60 brackets filled out.
Nice.
From people all over the country. Thank you for those who participated in our first ever Sling'n Proffet March Madness bracket pool. The winner is going to get a $50 gift card. No charge to you, no catch. Again, 60 people, man. That's a big number for our first year and being on the air. I think that's pretty huge.
I agree.
We got a tight race. We got a tight race here, Proffet. We got somebody, Trevor Henkel or Henke. I can't tell what the letters are exactly because I'm kind of zoomed out, but Trevor's leading the way here with 49 points. All right, and you got to look at this when you look at it, and I was looking at this a little bit myself. You could look at the total points, but you also have to look at the maximum points available that you could get.
Right.
Because you were sitting in there in like third place at one point, but your maximum points were still way high. I think you were at like 179. You've come down to 175, and you've kind of come back to reality a little bit. But there was a minute there where I thought you were going to take this thing, and I guess you still could, obviously. But
well, I don't think there's. I don't know for sure, but I don't think there's many people that have Iowa State winning the national championship.
No, and isn't Houston out?
Nah, Houston's still in.
I must have been reading an old article then.
If Iowa State wins the national championship, I'm pretty sure I'll win it. Which I don't want to do because then that means the second place guy is going to get paid, but because I can't win my own money.
Well, you could if you prove you're worthy enough. So at the top spot here, we got Trevor Henke or Henkel sitting with 49 points. And then we got Chris Jean Lewis with 48 points. David Farris, both of these guys got Arizona winning the thing with 48 points. Zachary Roth at 48 points. Mark Schreiber there at 48 points, tied with second place. And then we go to Mike Daly, who I don't know. No, that's Proffet, Mike Proffet. And then Nathan Lucy, and then Josh Fields rounding out the top 10. Oh, and then me rounding out the top 10. I don't know if I got a chance, though. I've only got 146 possible points here. So it's been tight, Proffet. It's been tight.
No, it has. I mean, like I said, I looked at it after Thursday night, the Thursday's games, and, it was like, damn, okay, we got people that know what they're doing. That's good.
I mean, yeah, it's not like they just went on and didn't give it a second think or a second thought because they clearly did. And like I said, I appreciate you guys again. 60 brackets. We'll keep it tallied and good.
It's nice to know that we have an educated audience. That's the good part of it.
Yeah, like that Schreiber guy.
I don't know his name.
Larry, I don't pay enough attention either when I'm sitting there hanging in the top 10. We're moving on. This isn't really news, but I saw this today. It is news. I saw it right before the show, and I threw it on here. Jadeveon Clowney signs a 2-year deal with the Panthers today. Proffet, he was the first overall pick in 2014.
Hard to believe it's been
still going
10 years.
Strong, man.
Yeah.
Still going strong. Good for you, Jadeveon. I hope you have a good year. You've been bouncing around the league a little bit the last couple of years, but hey, anybody can put a 10-year career together in today's NFL world. All the blessings to you,
especially from that position too.
Sure.
I mean, you got you got guys cutting your legs every play of every game, man. It's
Yep.
yeah.
And speaking of legs, we'll talk about it, I guess, another time. But man, that NFL banning that hip drop tackle, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I don't know if you saw it or not, but
Yeah, I saw it.
and they picked up the XFL kickoff rules, which I am a fan of. I do like that.
Well, if we're going to talk about it another time, great. But I do have a question because I couldn't find anything on that today. Does that mean there's no onside kicks anymore?
Nah, so they have to. The onside kicks go back to the regular style of onside kick, but you have to declare it before the play. So you have to tell them that you're kicking an onside kick. So the surprise onside kick is now out of the equation. But if you're going to kick an onside kick, it's still the same old onside kick rules. You just have to tell them before you guys line up that you're going to be kicking an onside kick.
So I was just thinking that, you know, you're down 10 points with a minute left, you score a touchdown, you can't win, but you still can. Okay.
No, you can. You just, like I said, you just have to let them know that you're doing it. Larry says you only do it in the fourth quarter. I didn't see that, but he might be right. I'm sure he's right because he's on his stuff. So, yeah, he might be right. Prophet, I also saw this right before the show, and I want to get how thirsty is the NFL for money? To play, when they said they weren't going to do it, they put 2 games on Christmas Day, and they don't know the teams yet because the schedule's not released, but they're playing 2 games on Christmas Day, a Wednesday. After
there's nothing sacred anymore.
They did say, well, these teams are going to play on Saturday the previous week, and then they'll play on Wednesday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then come back on 4 days. Are you kidding me, Prophet?
I mean, there's so many wrongs with this. Okay, you just said the 4 days being the one. Yes. You know what the problem is? It's $350 million guaranteed contracts. That's what the problem is. It's like, you got to be kidding me. These guys are young guys with young kids, and some of them may end up having to travel across the country. You can't wake up with your kids on Christmas morning and celebrate Christmas, and nothing's sacred anymore.
Yeah, I
don't like it.
I don't like that either. Especially when they said they weren't going to do it, and now they're doing it. So, but that wraps up another segment.
And now let's go back. Hold on a second.
All right.
This year they're starting the season on a Friday night, not a Thursday night, in Brazil, and the Super Bowl champs aren't even a part of this game. I just don't understand.
The season will kick off on Friday night in Brazil.
The Eagles are playing in it.
It's not your father's old NFL here, Prophet. That's for damn sure, huh?
No, for sure. And I don't like it. I'm sorry. Like I said, this is really bad.
Gonna play it.
I'm going to watch the game on for sure, but it's just not right.
Nothing changing about you. You're watching it. You're betting it.
Absolutely.
You're playing fantasy football.
Absolutely.
But you don't have to like it.
Right.
Don't have to like it. That wraps up another weekly segment for us. Prophet, I'm gonna be honest with you here. When we get into our plays of the week, I didn't have time.
Yeah.
The only thing
you ain't got no money anyhow.
I don't have any money. Yeah. Maybe I'll find some money over the week when I'm down in Myrtle Beach, and I'll be able to bet some. But why don't we talk about we'll talk about your plays. I know neither one of us hit anything this week, correct?
This is
so
true.
Your plays were, I missed on the Dodgers. I missed on Spieth and Taylor, and my college basketball parlay didn't hit. I'm down to $260.
Damn. And I think you fudged the numbers some to be that high.
You didn't hit anything either.
Oh, you froze. Okay, so I said, I think you
Yeah.
fudged the
Well, you
number
didn't.
some to be at 260, but no, I
Oh, you
told the
froze or
guys
I froze?
you froze drinking your beer.
Oh,
Was it good?
it's not beer, it's iced tea,
I
but it
told
was good.
everyone last week that a long shot was gonna win this tournament, and 100-1 shot did come in. Just unfortunately, we didn't have the right one. And in all honesty, with the exception of Maverick McNeely, our bets were done Friday. We didn't have much of a shot at all this week. But that was
Hmm.
then, and this is now.
And this is now. Right. So this week I uploaded your picture that you sent me.
Really?
That's all I can profit. I'm telling you, I was friggin' rushing, man. I had the kids. My wife had to go out real quick.
You ain't
Excuse me.
Russian, you're Irish.
Yeah, well, I see over 173 Alabama, North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah,
We're
that's
betting 110 to win
for
210.
tomorrow night's game. Don't worry about who wins or loses. Just sit there and root for points.
Sure.
I think it's going to be a shootout. Bama, they love to run, and North Carolina can run with them. The last time they played in 22, was it 22? I think, yeah. The final score was 107, 106. I mean, it was an NBA game.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's take the over 173.5 in the Bama North Carolina game. And then I got two golf plays for this coming week, and they're both 20 to win and 80 to top 30 on both of my guys here. Okay, both long shots again, because that's all I'm going to put out. I'm not going to put out a Scotty Scheffler's 2.5 to 1 favorite this week. And I'm sorry, favorites just don't cash often enough to bet Scheffler at plus 250 to 1. But
Sure.
I got Jake Knapp and I got Billy Horschel. 20 to win on Knapp, get you 11.20 back. 20 to win on Horschel, get you 12.20 back. And if they finish in the top 30, 80 to win, get you 176. 80 to win, get you 180, which you can cash both of them without winning. So,
Yeah.
again, guys,
But you catch one of the winners and it's worth it. So
you can catch one of the winners and both top 30s. Guys, don't stop reaching out. I mean, I had a bad week in the golf last week, but with the basketball and the golf combined, still ended up, in the black for the week. So, I mean, if you're just going to take this, that's all well and good, but don't be afraid to reach out and, hey, what do you got going on today? Anything? And
sure. I mean, hey, you can't win them all, Profit, but you do hit a lot of them. So I get it. I'm not even putting plays out this week. I'm licking my wounds.
you got to
I'm
get ready
down.
for vacay.
I got vacation. I got a half day. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, Laura. I got a half day at work. I got, we got a lot to do. Got a lot to do. I got to get ready to drive down to Myrtle Beach and have some fun in the sun. So I don't have time for gambling right now. So I'll put that out again in a couple weeks. But excuse me, I ran out of hydration about halfway through the show. So I've been hurting a little bit here, coming down the home stretch. But Prophet, I think that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. I think that was it wasn't a quick show, but it went fast, huh?
Yeah, it did. It did, and I was surprised. But I see another post there from Larry saying he needs to move to a state where he can bet. Reach out to me, bud. We can work something out.
There you go, Larry. You got your own friggin' private bookie, right? Oh, I mean, look, can't say that live on the air. Hey, 60 March Madness brackets in our pool. Ton of listeners tonight. We're growing every week, man. We're growing every week. We're off next week. Sling's on vacation with his family. Gonna do some fishing. Gonna do some chilling. Gonna do some grilling. Have a couple beverages, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. All right, we'll be back in 2 weeks. Prophet, as always, good show. we'll talk to you here soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.